See if we can be on. Testing. There we come. Good evening, and welcome to the Holly Area Chamber of Commerce, Division of North Oakland Regional Chambers Association, Meet the Candidates event for the general election for 2024. My name is Richard Kinnaman, and in just a moment I will be turning over this event to my interns, as I will also join you as a candidate out there. As we begin, I would like us to stand and say the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Our structure this evening is going to be our interns. I'm going to introduce them to you. We have Bowen Moore and Xander Jacobson. Both of them are seniors this year at Holly High School, and this is their first official week working with me. They will call a group of candidates to the stage, which will then be able to have a seat over here, and they will introduce you to come and have your 2 minutes. Must I say that again? 2 minutes. And Rosie down here is running the timer so that you kind of know when your time about runs out. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Bowen and Xander.
First, for the U.S. Senate of Michigan, we have Alyssa Slockett of the Democratic Party, who is not able to attend, and Mike Rogers of the Republican Party, who is also not able to attend. Next, we have the U.S. House of Representatives. For the Republican Party, Lisa McClain is not able to attend, but I'd like to call Clinton St. Mosley up to the stand.
Thank you guys. Thanks for hosting this, and I appreciate your time. I now feel what it feels like to win an Academy Award and walk across the stage, but I'm Clint St. Mosley, and I'm running for Congress because I believe there's a better way. I believe we can build bridges and not burn them. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself and a couple things that are really important to me. So I am the father of twin boys. They were brought to this world because of fertility treatment. So we're fighting for reproductive rights, for women, for families, not just in Michigan, but across the United States. We've got it pretty good here in Michigan. We passed a constitutional amendment. You passed a constitutional amendment. So we have that good in Michigan, but we've got to protect everyone in our 50 states. Now that my kids are in second grade, we're fighting for reasonable gun safety measures. Oxford is a part of our district. We know that horrible tragedy. We know so many tragedies, whether it's Rochester, Texas, or California, wherever you see these tragedies happen, there are common sense things that we can do to make sure we protect our children, we protect our communities, and that can be done. We've started it here in Michigan, and we've got to take it to Washington, D.C. I'm a small business owner. I own an insurance agency in Sterling Heights. It's very important to me that we have health care, that we have access, and that it's affordable. I believe that one great way to do that is Medicare for all, but I'm open to listening and working across the aisle. We need people. As I'm knocking on doors, as we're talking to people in the community at events like these, people want to work together. They want leaders who can work together. Our Constitution 248 years ago called for that. We have to work together to have solutions that work for people here in the 9th, here in Michigan, and here in America. I'm Clint St. Mosley. You can follow along at clint4congress.com. I appreciate the time, and guys, have a great night. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next for state legislature, we have Republican Mike Mueller and Democrat John Golza, who unfortunately are not able to be here. So moving on to county executive, we have Democrat David Coulter with the representative. Maybe not. Okay. The other county executive for the Republican Party is Nick. He's also not able to be here, so we'll move on to the prosecuting attorney. For the Democrat Party, we have Karen McDonald, and for the Republican Party, we have Scott Farida, and I'd like to welcome him to the stand.
So you didn't know, but I'm Karen McDonald. It's great to meet all of you. Thank you for the opportunity tonight. Actually, I'm David Williams. I'm the Chief Assistant at the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. I'm here on behalf of Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald. The thing I want you to know tonight is what's important to Karen and to us as an office, and that is public safety and victims. And I say that because I know that's what's important to all of you and to all of us. We want to be safe in our homes, we want to be safe when we go to work, we want to be safe in our places of business and places of worship, and we want our kids to be safe when they go to school. For those of you who live and work in Holly, you're very fortunate. It's a very safe community. Your crime rate is below that of the average in the county, the state, and the country. So I hope most of you and most of you watching have not been victims of crime. If you haven't, how do you know if Karen and I in the office are doing a good job? Well, there's some people who see what we do every day. They're the officers who go out to the scenes, who do the investigations, who meet with victims, and then who bring their cases to our office. We work with them every day. And it doesn't stop when they get to our door. They're the ones who are sitting next to us in court, who testify, who are there at trial, and who work with the victims throughout, just as we do. So those folks have an association. It's called the Oakland County Association of Chiefs of Police. And you'll be surprised to hear that it's an association of the Oakland County Chiefs of Police. It's all of them. They sat down with Karen. They also sat down with her opponent, and they decided to endorse Karen. And there are two important reasons for that. First of all, they've worked with Karen in our office for the last 4 years. They see how she handles crime and violent crime and how she works with victims. And the second is her experience. Karen has decades of experience as a lawyer, including as a judge and an assistant prosecutor, and she has tried serious felony cases, including the Oxford trial, which I think many of you saw. We're very proud of the work that she and we have done, and we'd like to do it for 4 more years, and we'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
With the change, Scott Farida is now here, and you can come up to the stand now.
Hello, everyone. I am very sorry about my delay today. Sometimes, as you know, getting on the freeway, you get not quite to where you're going. My name is Scott Farida. I'm running for Oakland County Prosecutor. I was with the office just shy of 6 years, from 2017 up until the time I left in June of 23. I was also acting chief of the Family Support Division as needed from early 2022 up until the time I left. And I'm ready to take on the serious issues in our community that we have regarding crime. And I don't use that in the abstract. Just like when I say that we are dealing with the most politically extreme prosecutor's office, it's not some theoretical. When I was in the office, first meeting we ever had involved the speaker Karen McDonald brought in, who talked in part about undercharging murder. Second speaker was a woman named Emily Bazelon, a far-left progressive prosecution advocate, whose examples or models were LA and I believe it was San Francisco. I want to take politics out of prosecution. I'm Republican, I've worked for 3 elected Democrats, I haven't had issues with all except my opponent. It's time for real substantive change. And I'm proud to say I do have support of men and women who are actually on the front dealing with criminal justice. I was voted unanimously for an endorsement from FOP Lodge 132, and I have dedicated my career to working towards the community, working towards my community, and trying to make us have, frankly, a better Oakland County. And I'll say right now that I will be here, even though I was a bit late, I will be here to answer any questions you have. I want you confident that I am the right person for the job. And I will tell you, and I stress that, because this is now the third candidate forum that I've been to that Karen McDonald either hasn't shown up to or has left before taking questions. I am here for you, and at the end of the day, we need change. Not Republican, Democrat, liberal, or conservative, but justice over injustice. Thank you so much for your time.
Next is the Sheriff of Oakland County. Michael Bouchard, the only runner, Republican, cannot be here today. So we'll move on to the Clerk and Register of Deeds of Oakland County. We're going to Lisa Brown, who's Senate Registrar. The Democrats have Representative Fred Rogers and Barb Pelota, a Republican. Please come up here.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Barb Pelota, and I'm the Republican candidate for Oakland County Clerk. To introduce myself a little bit, I have been in government for 30 years. I started in Novi in 1996 as an entry-level position, and I landed in Independence Township as an appointed clerk because the clerk resigned. I was asked to apply, just so you know. And then I ran in 2012 and 2016 and won with very high votes. And I was unknown in that area. I moved to that area because I got married, so I was unknown. In regards to my experience, it is very diversified, but it's always been in the clerk's office. There was I was asked, every position I had, I was asked to apply for. I worked in Farmington Hills and HR for a short time. A friend of mine who I worked with in Novi became the director of HR, and she wanted me to organize her. That's what I do. One of the questions I've been asked along the campaign trail is, what problems do I see? I don't see problems, I see complacency, and that's why I have been asked so many times to help somebody. So this is what I plan to do for Oakland County Clerk's Office. On the outside, things seem to be running smoothly. I was appointed also to the Board of Canvassers, again, asked to apply, and I was appointed by Lisa Brown. And one of the things that caught my eye, because I got to see under the hood, was that the checkoff lists that they were using were from 2018. I was appointed in 2023. Election law has changed dramatically since 2017, so I updated them. Also, there was no checkoff list for the early voting, and I created that. And the two other canvassers wouldn't even look at them, so we were working for old forms. That wasn't the reason I decided to run, but again, I was asked to run. And I believe everybody who's running for office should have an opponent. So I have these cards in the back. It actually tells you the history of my move along Oakland County, but I would appreciate your vote. And my website is votepelota.com. Please go to my website and see what I'm all about. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, friends. As you may know, today is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. It's one of the holiest days on the Jewish calendar, and so I'm here on behalf of Lisa Brown, our Oakland County Clerk, and I bring you greetings. And I thank the organizers for having us for this important public service. If you think about it, all the milestone moments of our lives are marked with a visit to the clerk's office. We have your birth records, marriage license, death records, pistol license. When you buy or sell your home, you come and register that deed with us. When you go to court, we have those records, and elections, of course. I want you to know, if you happen to find love here at the candidate forum tonight, come on down, we'll file your marriage license. And if for some reason it doesn't work out, come on down, we'll help you with the divorce paperwork too. It's a one-stop shop of public service. Lisa Brown, in her tenure, has elevated this office to be a model for the entire state. Programs that she has developed have been replicated across the state, and she is regularly relied on by her peers to provide leadership and guidance. There are three things that I want to leave you with because we don't have much time, but I'll be happy to talk with you afterwards. First and foremost is the fight against property fraud in Oakland County. Thankfully, it's rare, but Lisa Brown developed the first of its kind service. It's called Property Records Notification. It's a free service. Go to the county website. You can find out more about it to empower yourself in the fight against property fraud here in Oakland County. Second is accessibility. Even before the pandemic, County Clerk Lisa Brown was a leader in bringing services online. But even more than having services online, Lisa Brown believes in bringing services to the community. She hosts local office visits throughout the county, and we were here at the Township Library in this spring. We're going to be in White Lake in December, and a particular emphasis on the northern and western ends of the county because your proximity to the county offices in Pontiac should not be an obstacle to getting great service. And lastly, because I know we're running out of time, our elections, which are on everybody's mind. In election administration, local clerks, county clerks, and Secretary of State all have different roles. In the state of Michigan, there is unparalleled cooperation in Oakland County between the local clerks and the absentee voter counting board and administration of early voting. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens through leadership and someone like Lisa Brown who has the vision to do innovative things and the know-how and expertise to get it done. On behalf of Oakland County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown, thank you very much for the time.
Next, for the Treasurer of Oakland County, we have Republican Party Donna Blake, who's unfortunately not able to be here, but we do have Democratic Party Robert Windberg, who I'll call up to the stand.
Thanks, Mom, for starting the cheer. It is a bit of a long walk. Good evening, everyone, and I'm going to preemptively apologize as well. As Fred mentioned, it is Rosh Hashanah, so it's the Jewish New Year. I'm going to be heading over to see my family as soon as I'm done here, so I won't be able to stick around to answer any questions, but when I'm done speaking, I'll give you my website. You can go there, you can email me and ask any questions that you might have. So I have a camera I'm talking to as well here. So I am the incumbent here. I was elected first to this office 4 years ago in 2020. Prior to that, I served for 6 years as a state representative for the southern portion of Oakland County. I love people, I love helping people, and that's why I do the work that I do. I think government should be there to solve people's problems, to serve, not get in the way, and we do that here at Oakland County. I think you see all the leaders that are in place right now countywide have all done an amazing job, and Oakland County I'm biased, but I think this is the best place to live and work and play in the whole state. Our office as treasurer, we are in essence the banker for county government, so we collect the taxes, the money that's coming in, disperse, and then also invest our surplus funds. A few things I just want to highlight with you. One of the things that we do in our office ultimately is collecting delinquent taxes, and if people don't pay their taxes over a 3-year period, they can be foreclosed upon. I always tell people our goal in our office is to collect taxes, is not to foreclose. So we do everything we can to try to prevent foreclosure, and I'm proud to say that under our leadership, we have the lowest foreclosure numbers ever in Oakland County. So that's something to be proud of. As well, we updated our investment policy for the first time in 20 years, so we're able to protect and secure our tax dollars, but also invest them to get a better interest rate in return. And then we also started a land bank here in Oakland County to help with economic development all throughout the county, not just in Pontiac where we are, the southern and northern part of the county, all throughout the county. And it can help with housing and economic development all throughout the county. So we've done a lot of great things. I pride myself on being transparent, public, and serving the public. So if you have any questions or you need anything, my website is robertwittenberg.com. Please go there, take a look and see, but I would appreciate your consideration when you're voting, and you should have your ballots if you're AB soon. If you don't already, make sure you vote. No matter what you do, make sure you vote. Thank you for hosting this. Thanks for having me.
Next, for the position of Water Commissioner of Oakland County, we have Democrat Jim Nash and Steve Johnson. First, we'll have Democrat Jim Nash come to the stand.
I really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate being here. It's great to always reach out to the communities and talk. My name's Jim Nash. I'm the Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner. I've been in this office almost 12 years now. Before that, I was a county commissioner from Farmington Hills. I've always focused on my time with Oakland County on protecting the environment, sustainability, all the issues that we need to work on. One of the biggest things that's going to be hitting us in the next several generations, you'll be working on it, I'm sure, is climate change. We're going to be getting heavier and heavier storms over time. We have to build our infrastructure to be resilient to that. We're working on that with communities all over Oakland County and the region, because again, water doesn't follow any particular place, it goes where it's going to go. So we've seen climate change here, we've seen large storms that have caused significant damage. We need to make sure that we're building our systems to take those without as much damage as we've had in the past. So we need to build these systems, and we're working with communities to do that. We work with communities on their older infrastructure. Specifically, nowadays, we're working on getting rid of lead lines that take water into homes. This is an issue that's been going on since the 40s, and we're working on that with communities all over to make sure that we can do this in a way that's not going to affect the ratepayers. We're also working on things like, we work all over, everywhere in this county. I have a staff of 400. We have a budget of over $800 million. We work on lake levels, we work on drainage. Here up in this part of the county, you guys are having a lot of issues with failing septic systems. That's something that we're working on. We've been working with Genesee County. They offer the availability of a wastewater treatment plant up there if we can build a collection system here. We've already gotten ARPA money through the county, $10 million from this area to get this project off the ground. This will eliminate septic field pollution into lakes all across this region. We're part of the Flint and the Shiawassee watersheds here. All of that goes downstream north of us. So that's what we're working on with you guys. We have a great relationship with all the communities up here, and we're really working hard to make sure your water is protected. So one last thing, my website is nash4wrc.com. Check out what we're doing. We're doing all kinds of really neat stuff. Thank you so much, guys.
I'd now like to welcome Steve Johnson of the Republican Party to the stand.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, or us. So, my name's Steve Johnson. I'm running for the Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner. I'll move away from that light just a little bit. So anyway, I guess a little bit about myself. I really have been in business. I haven't been in politics. I've run a number of businesses. And I actually went to school for business. I have an MBA, so I have some academic credentials. So for the Oakland County Water Resources, there's a number of things that are important. I think first and foremost, contaminants, PFAS, microplastics, nanoplastics, lead service lines. Water affordability is a big issue. If you go to my website, or have some cards on the back that kind of explain a little bit of what I propose for water affordability. Probably good for most people. Some people will stay where they're at. Some people might pay a little bit more if they're an excessive user. Some of the other things are infrastructure, and we have a number of issues with infrastructure. Jim Nash mentioned a couple of things that are going on in this area. But we've got the Red Run Drain, which is a real big problem. I don't know if anybody's heard about that. It's kind of Oakland County's Flint, if you will. It's an area that stormwater, when we have heavy rain, stormwater is combined with sewage, and it's put into the Flint River, and we ship it over to our friends in Macomb County and pollute Lake St. Clair. So we're not being very good neighbors. We need to fix that. That's a major issue that we're going to need some federal dollars for. Yeah, so that's, I guess those are kind of the high points. Again, Steve Johnson, for Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner. Thanks.
Next, for County Commissioner, we have Democrat Derek Marshall, who is unable to be here. And for Republic, we have Bob Hoffman. Welcome you to the seat.
First, thank you to the North Oakland Regional Chamber for hosting this event. My name is Bob Hoffman. I'm the current Oakland County Commissioner. I don't look at this job, or being a commissioner, as a job. This is more of an honor and a privilege to serve the people in my district. I'm a small business owner and a farmer. When I first, and a lot of you know I have a young son. He's 19 years old. And when I first got elected, he was 6 years old. And every couple of years when we run, people would ask me, Bob, you ever thought about going to Lansing? I go, yeah, on a field trip with my son. This is an incredible job where you can actually help the people. That's why I really like being a county commissioner. We're like a conduit between the state and county government and local municipalities. And I'm fortunate to be a commissioner in this district because we're represented by a lot of great people on these township boards and village council. So I appreciate your consideration to elect me again. I'll continue to work hard. And there's one principle I live by, and it's a quote by the Dalai Lama who said, our sole purpose in life should be to help others. If you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. And we are here to help people, not hurt them. Thank you very much.
Next, for Supervisor of Holly Township, I'd like to welcome George Cullis to the stage, a Republican.
I'm sorry, it caught me a little off guard. I didn't realize I was going to be up here tonight. I don't have an opponent running against me, so I won't take up too much of your time, but I will say this. I'm assuming after me comes those candidates for trustees. We have 5 people running for 4 seats. I almost wish we could make it an 8-member board. We have 5 people running for those seats, and I would be proud to serve with every one of them. We've got a great team of candidates running this year. So good luck, everybody.
Next, we have Republican Karen Winchester running for clerk of Holly Township, who is not able to be here but is running unopposed. And then after that, treasurer of Holly Township, Jennifer Ryan, a Democrat who is running unopposed, who is also not able to be here.
Next, I'd like to welcome up all running for trustee of Holly Township. First will be Sharon Everly of the Democratic Party. You guys can all come up.
Thank you very much to the Chamber. Thank you to you gentlemen for emceeing this. And I'm happy to be up here with these competitors for 4 positions for Holly Township Trustee. My name is Sherilyn Everly. I've lived in Holly my whole life. I live on the Holly Mill Pond. I tell people that Shiawassee River water runs through my veins. There isn't anybody who knows me that doesn't know that I love this town, and I will stand up and I will speak out and I will show up and do anything to make it better. Right now, the ideas that I have for making it better include 1, functioning Holly government. Not 2 governments, because unfortunately, as we've seen in the last year, cooperation is merely a concept. It isn't anything that we really have seen between our 2 governments. That is to our detriment. Another thing that is running through our community besides the Shiawassee River is our water and sewer system. While it belongs to the village, all growth and expansion in the township is going to depend on extending what has now basically become a public utility for both the village and the township. And we need to stand up and recognize that and do the best we can by the customers that are being served. We have the opportunity for a municipal center, and that truly is deep in my heart. I am pledging to you that I will seek every outside support and resource that I can to be sure that we have intensive, overabundant, sickeningly too much community input. We would love to be heard. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Jim told me not to exaggerate. I said, how many times have we talked about building a municipal center in 70 years? None. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You, the community who bothered to be here tonight, this is incumbent on you to show up. And when the opportunity comes for you to tell what you want in a community center, you need to be there. And finally, our fair share. We've seen a lot of county people here tonight. We have no county parks in Holly. We have Holly Oaks in Groveland, but we have nothing from Oakland County Parks, and we pay those taxes. We have nothing in the way of youth services. We have nothing in the way of trails. We have nothing in the way of senior services. And I'm not going to let Huron-Clinton Metro Parks off of the hook either, because we pay those taxes as well. And nobody's doing anything about that. And finally, at the county level, Mr. Hoffman, how come there are 38 senior centers in Oakland County? There are only 36 townships, and I know 3 townships that don't have any senior services at all from the county, and that would be Rose, Groveland, and Holly. So if you elect me, I am going to be the burr under the saddle of all these organizations that I've pretty much been ignoring us as far as I'm concerned for my time that I've been paying attention. So that's what you'll get from me. I think any of you that have watched me know that I am pretty much outspoken. You'll know where I stand. I'm honest. I do my homework. And if that isn't enough for you, when you leave, I have a sheet prepared that gives you my resume, as well as outlines in more detail what I intend to do if I'm elected. Thank you tonight.
Next, I'd like to have Republican Richard Kinman to the stage.
I don't know why these are in the order they were. I thought we were doing them alphabetical, but that's not the way my list came out. Richard Kinnaman, I have been in the village of Holly. I've lived in the village for 10 years. Actually, the first home that I lived in was the one that Charlene was raised in. And we have
spent a great deal of time here. We've raised all 4 of our children here. They've all graduated from this high school and have gone on to be very successful. I have a wonderful wife who is a school teacher, has been in the school systems for over 17 years. I personally have spent many years formerly as a pastor. We've moved around to several communities. We decided Holly is our home, and we are not leaving here. I am the director of the Chamber of Commerce, which is putting on this event for you this evening. I also work for the school district, as well as have been a village council person for the past 6 years. I have done many things with the township, people that are currently in office. I have participated in the cleanup days, which, by the way, is this coming Saturday, and does include the village and the township. Outer Township is all considered Holly Township. So remember, that's this Saturday, and I believe it's at the new center, the new location.
Yeah.
Yes. Regretfully, this is going to be one of those times that I am going to miss because I'm going to spend time away with my wife. I have been involved in many areas and many things in Holly. I am connected or have connections with most all of these elected officials that are here. I work across the aisle, I work with everyone. Doesn't mean I agree all the time with everyone and every decision. But once the decision is made, we work together to see that it's carried out well. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Next, I'd like to welcome Republican Ryan Mattson to the stand.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Appreciate the time to be able to speak to you all today. Again, my name is Ryan Mattson. A little bit about myself. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice from Adrian College. I have over 10 years of retail management experience. Currently, I'm an operations manager for Mercy Plus Autism Services, where we work with individuals on the autism spectrum. In addition to that, I am a licensed realtor with the state of Michigan since May of 2020. And so, with that experience, I currently do serve on the Holly Township Planning Committee, where I'm the chairperson. I'm very proud to say that while I'm planning, we have done a lot of great things, including fighting for larger lot sizes for new development homes, thoughtful and intentional development to preserve our green space within the township, and also creating and upholding the rules and regulations around that for new development. My vision as trustee, I would like to continue to be fiscally responsible with our tax dollars. I'm very proud to say that the township has not increased our rate, and I want to continue that great fiscal responsibility for our citizens. Next, I want to continue the thoughtful and intentional development and planning within the township to preserve our green space with projects like our Farmstead project that has begun, and I want to see that through to the end. Additionally, I'd love for community center and getting our township complex going so we can truly have a great space for our community there. And lastly, I want to be a voice and an advocate for our citizens. I believe us as representatives, as trustees, we represent our citizens, and they deserve a voice as part of most of the decisions that we make in government. So with that, I hope to earn your vote in November, and thank you all for the opportunity this evening.
Next, I'd like to welcome Republican Derek Burton up to the stand.
All right, well, good evening. Thank you all for attending tonight and kind of helping inform yourselves on each one of the candidates running here today, and as well for all of you who may tune in later. Thank you, you gentlemen. You're doing a great job down there as well. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this. So my name is Derek E. Burton, as was stated. I am currently a Director of Finance and Administrative Services for the Shiawassee County Health Department. I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, where I serve as a machine gunner. I am a baseball coach for Holly Little League, where I serve as the treasurer of the board. I am the Vice President Treasurer of a board for a youth camp located just outside of Holly Township. I am the twice elected President for the Michigan Association of Local Public Health Finance Officers Association, which represents all the finance officers throughout the state for all the health departments in the state of Michigan. Since being elected as trustee, I've seen both communication and transparency increase, mainly through the means of gov delivery, and would like to thank Amy Hillman for all her steps in moving forward, learning about that system, and now delivering on all those emails to the customers. And if you are not currently signed up for that system, I encourage you to do so, that you can stay informed on meetings and events that the township is doing. I believe in showing up to each meeting prepared and educated. So if there's an item that is on the agenda that we will be going over, I'll reach out to who in my mind are subject matter experts regarding that issue to help enlighten me to make more informed decisions and better decisions for the residents of Holly. As the only Outer Township resident running for Holly Township, I believe in maintaining the rural character, the reason that I fell in love with the township and why so many other people did as well. As my experience as the Director of Finance and Administrative Services, I know how to operate government within its means, and I am cautious about the expenses incurred by the township and the factors that benefit the residents, and as well as the return on investment, both tangible and intangible. I believe in community collaboration. I believe the village and the township can work together and have done efforts to do so as well, and will continue to do so with the new village council as well. Look, the beauty of each one of us running here on stage today is that we're all in a public capacity already. You're able to go to YouTube, you can view any of our decisions, any of our decision-making processes, maybe many of our views on YouTube as well. So in closing, I believe one thing's for certain, Holly needs Derek E. Burton, and just a reminder, Coach D for trustee.
Next, I'd like to welcome Republican Michael McCamey to the stand.
Hello, thank you very much. I don't think I'm going to fit 2 minutes. Michael McCamey, I've been here since about 2006. I've been on the HDC for over 10 years. Holly Dickens Festival board member for too long. How long have we been on it, George? Long time. You should come to that in November. It's one of the best festivals we have. I'm on the Holly Township Planning Committee, and I think that's about all. What about all these other guys too? Yeah, great guys. This is going to be fine. We're going to be fine, people. So I think there's really not really big problems that we're doing. We just need to keep marching forward. We need to keep increasing better communication, a little bit more openness about what's happening with the government. We do need to grow a little bit in the township, because if we're not growing, then we're dying. So on the planning commission, we just passed the master plan, which is we worked really hard on that, and we did a great job. So that's going to, kind of guide the growth and make sure it's controlled, so we still keep that great up north feeling in Oakland County. So that's very important. And then let me check my notes here. We volunteer a lot. My wife is at the Parks Commission meeting. My kids are playing soccer, so we do a lot. And I think I can bring a calm. I'm usually asked to get on committees and part of the meetings because I bring calm and a little bit of intellectual or just like reason to areas. I don't respond in a panicky way in emergency situations unless I'm standing up in front of a bunch of people. So we all have panic attacks. So I was asked to run because just to lend another hand, and that's what I do. I lend a hand, I help out. Thank you very much. Talk to you about it. Oh, I'm Director of Operations and Maintenance Support at Wayne State University, and I'm out. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all of you joining the Trustee College. Next, I would like to welcome all running for the Park Commission of Holly Township. Donna McBride, a Democrat. Dave Lontine, a Democrat. Joe Hutchins, Republican. Kathleen Martin, Republican. And Jeff Carroll, Republican. Yeah, I believe only Jeff Carroll is here today, and he's going to take a stand.
Yep, thank you guys. It is Jeff Carl, and I thank you for this meeting and your participation. And talk about a big footprint. We're talking now about the Holly Township parks, which we represent the Holly Township Beach and Sorensen Park. And for people who aren't familiar with Sorensen, we have two baseball fields. We have Little League all summer and going into October. We have nearly 2 miles of walking paths. We just recently introduced an 18-hole disc golf course. So if you're like me, your golf game is getting worse, you might try the Frisbee. But a little bit about me. When I was 12 years old, I was mowing the lawn at the beach till my dad entrusted me to take the riding mower and drive about a mile, and I got to use the riding mower. But I grew up at the beach. I took all my phys ed in college in the pool, and I later got my Red Cross water safety certificate. I taught lessons for probably 4 or 5 years. I was assistant director. In 2009, I was actually working at the LA Times, and my mother had lost her sight, and newspaper was going downhill. I came back to help her out, and I was really disgusted at the way the beach had deteriorated. And that's my passion. I'm on the board currently. I'm an incumbent. I was invited on the board. I've been on about 1.5 years, but I am now in a position to be elected. And since I've been on the board, that's my passion, that's my focus. There's been major improvements this last summer. We have re-roofed the beach house. We just recently siding the beach house. We have bids out in paint and the pavilion, and we have plans to redo the beach. We just put in 52 tons of sand on the beach, and now the beach is closed. So I look forward next year to many more improvements, and I do hope that you will support the efforts that we're doing, all commissioners, as well as myself, and I can earn your vote. And thank you.
Don't forget.
Next, I'd like to welcome up all running for president of Holly Village. We have April Brandon, Anna Matson, and James Perkins. First up to the stand, I'd like to welcome April Brandon.
My name is April Brandon, and I am running for Holly Village President. A little bit about me. I own Gold Star Counseling right here in Holly. I got my master's at Oakland University, and I'm currently the President Pro Tem on the Holly Village Council. I am well matched to the position of Village Council, evidenced by research I put into our agenda items, including a toxicology report I gave from a compilation of research from Mary Blanchard, Stacy Taylor, and scientists from Michigan's Department of Health. I voted in favor of utilizing SISMA, an environmental agency, to help staff make wise decisions with our natural resources and ecosystem. The majority of homes in our village belong to those who raise families here. Let's fill these vacant buildings by attracting businesses that complement our family-minded mission. We need smart elected leaders to hire knowledgeable staff. I don't care about political leanings or personal connections. I do care about ability and integrity. I voted in favor of our new fire chief, Jeremy Watson, and a new fire truck to protect the public and his staff. I am not afraid to spend money wisely or to vote against spending money. I voted against cityhood as I felt the research was lacking. I voted in favor of funding local transportation services and funding of water and sewer maintenance as our infrastructure is aging, and of hiring an outside organization to solicit a new village manager to keep personal relationships out of the decision-making process. I pushed to start this process in January and got a lot of pushback, which was detrimental to the community. As president, I will not hesitate to get these items on the agenda. As a Gold Star mother and therapist, the military is dear to my heart. To tend to fiscal responsibility, I demanded proper process be tended to on the last Veterans Memorial proposal. I was honored as Grand Marshal to give a speech at the Memorial Day Parade, addressing the need for veterans resources. I serve in the American Legion Auxiliary as historian and organized the Patriot Well fundraiser and an Adopt a Pet event in honor of our fallen heroes, including my son. I voted in favor of the village acting as fiduciary for the Legion's federal grants. Living in a village is an expensive privilege. I am not going to promise you tax breaks because taxes support our resources. We don't have the budget for every need, so studying and creative revenue generation is vital. I am running for village president to continue taking part in preserving the integrity and safety of Holly, to grow deliberately with meaning while fostering a family-minded mission and promoting community connections. The search for knowledge is always our primary mission. That was Captain Picard. Thank you for your time.
Next, I'd like to welcome Anna Madsen, please.
Hi, I'm Anna Madsen, and I am running for Holly Village President. I can't tell you everything I want to do in office in just 2 minutes, but I will try to summarize. There's really 3 main things that I want to focus on. 1, I want to be fiscally responsible, and yes, that includes the water. I can't make many promises. I can't promise that I'll fix it overnight, but I will promise that I'm going to investigate everything I can, and I've already started that process. I also want to plan for the future, so that means looking at our roads, sidewalks, all of our infrastructure, and actually having a plan. So we're not governing an emergency all the time, but we have a plan to actually govern and budget for the future. Number 2, I want to protect our green space. Our parks are so wonderful. There's so much potential with them. And I envision our parks being a place that you and your family want to go and spend all day in. So this also includes, protecting our trees, our mature trees, and maybe we need to cut down the ones that pose a safety hazard. Number 3, and the most important to me, I want to be a voice of the people. I've talked to people all across Holly, and there's a common theme where people don't feel heard. They don't feel like their needs are being met, and I want to change that. I want to be your loudest voice in office. And there's a lot of things that divide us in politics, but in Holly specifically, there's a lot of things that bring us together. The frustration with our water is definitely one of them. And when talking with people, I found that change is a big thing. I'm hearing that a lot. So my competitors, I thank them so much for their service. They've done so many great things for our community. And we already know what we're going to get with them. Our water rates are going to increase. Our mature trees are going to get cut down. And a lot of people are not going to feel heard. So if you vote for me, all of that is going to change. You're going to be a priority. So please consider me for Holly Village President. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to welcome James Perkins.
Good evening, all. It's been a pleasure to serve on the Hollis Village Council, as well as former village president, DDA, and HDC. You have 3 very good choices here. Maybe 2 better than me, I don't know. I've been here for 30 years. We've raised 3 children here, 2 of which graduated here. My wife worked for the schools here for 14 years. And I love this town. We came up here for dinner one night at the Red Devil. We lived in Sylvan Lake back many years ago. And we started looking for a house and bought one within a week. And we've loved it ever since. And my main concern is to keep Holly Holly. I don't want to become Benton. I don't want to be Grand Blanc. I love the small town charm. And I just would like to work to see it remain that way. I have to say, I agree with a lot of what Ms. Everly had to say, and we are on complete opposite sides of the world, so there's hope. We can work together and we can work through our problems. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome to the stand all running for council member of the Village of Holly, Douglas Grosvenor, Thomas Ryan, Daniel Wendell, and Buster Weinberg. Doug Grosvenor will speak first.
Good evening, I'm Doug Grosvenor. I'm 53 years old, a longtime resident of Holly, Michigan. I've actually been here since 1998, in the village since 2010. I was 15 years old when I lost my leg in a motorcycle accident years ago. For some years, I was a bit lost. It took me some time to find myself. But eventually I found my way, found my self-confidence, and my self-worth and value. And I decided to go on a mission, to correct all that I had broken, and to try and leave a positive footprint. Before I was forced to retire, early 10 years ago, I spent 24 years in the sales and finance industry. I have higher education in business administration and management. I spent 13 years as a loan officer for residential lending. Several years as a student financial aid loan officer for Dorsey schools. And I administratively managed 5 multi-family properties and the crews that maintain them. My strength, however, is my interpersonal ability, my people skills. Now, I love people, period. Motivating and inspiring others is something that I enjoy doing. I'm compelled to leave the people that I speak to or meet feeling just a little bit better about their day or even themselves. I believe myself capable of bringing diverse groups of people together, not necessarily like-minded people, but able to bring them together for the fair consideration of positive and progressive goals and benchmarks. I strive to be forward-thinking in my, ideology and, have fresh ideas. In closing, it's a privilege to be here as a candidate. I'm running simply to be purposeful. That's really it. And I felt like the only way for me to do that was to serve the community that I live in and I adore. I love this village. I decided a long time ago, I had lived a life of a level of adversity and challenge that most will never know. And so at the end of the day, when we leave this earth, we can all leave with one of 2 ways, being a beacon of perseverance or an example for defeat. I choose the former, always have, and I hope that I can just simply earn at least your consideration. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother. Can I take your stuff? No. Here you go. Next to the stage, I'd like to welcome Thomas Ryan.
Hi, my name is Thomas Ryan. I'm running for Village Council. I'd like to start off by apologizing for my wife not being here. She is the only one running for Township Treasurer. She is currently at the car show with our kids, trunk or treating. So I'm the representative from our house here. A little bit background about myself. I'm a Navy veteran. I have a bachelor's in fine arts, which has helped me think creatively and critically about different aspects of what I plan on voting for and taking the time to research the different topics that are important to us in Holly. A little bit about my background with Holly. I served on the Cityhood Commission. I was the only one that voted against recommendation for cityhood on that commission, well, committee. And I took the time to email the rest of the council my thoughts on why we shouldn't be. And they took the advice. Other than that, hardest part about running for me is the public speaking part, but hopefully you can take me under consideration, and thank you for your time.
Next, we'd like to have Daniel Wendell. Okay.
Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Wendell. Me and my family have lived in Holly for over 6 years now. Since I was young, I've heard stories from my family members that lived in Holly. What a great community it was, and exactly the kind of community I want to raise my kids in. When I first ran for office, you might want to say I was a little wet behind the ears, especially when it came to knowing the needs of Holly. I believe what Holly needs is transparency, genuine care and interest of the residents, taxpayers in the village of Holly. I'm running to do that for the people. Since I last ran, I've gotten involved, very involved with the public community service by volunteering for the DDA and other organizations. Not only me, but my daughter has volunteered also. My wife supports us all the way in all our efforts we do. It is a family affair. That's what I love about Holly. Holly has a family strong sense of community. I want to be involved in helping Holly be a safe place to raise a family. Listening to the concerns of people, having an open door approach with the ability to contact anytime, most of all staying fiscally responsible, transparent to the residents of Holly. And I thank you and look forward to serving the community in the future.
Lastly, we have Buster Weinbrenner.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm Buster Weinbrenner. I'm running for a council seat for the village of Holly. I lived in the village for 39 years. I've been married for 34 years to Susan. I'm a veteran, 3 years, was in the Army. I graduated from Grand Blanc High School. I also graduated from the Flint Police Academy. Back on February of 29, 1979, I started my career with Holly PD. I served 28 years with Holly PD until I retired on June 8th of 2008. I came back and worked for 3 more years as a part-time police officer. I was on council in 2021 and 2022. At this time, it was a privilege to serve the community in the village of Holly. At this time, if I'm elected, I would like to start working on the senior center for the seniors for the village of Holly. Just give them a place to go. Number 2, our roads. Number 3, the North Dam. When I was on council, I started working on the North Dam and the South Dam. The South Dam was completed, and the North Dam we were still working on. Number 4, getting maintenance done in the village of Holly. And my years of looking and experience and talking with some people, I find it to be very poor. Number 6, we have a number of fire hydrants within this village that are out of order. For a number of years, not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, and even longer, we've had these fire hydrants that have not worked. But yet, we have 3 brand-new fire hydrants been sitting in at the DPW garage for a number of years. Why are they not fixed? We also have 13 lift stations in the village. On these lift stations, and under the ground, there's a unit that they call the cans. Over the years, these units have rusted so badly. In my understanding, the worst ones are on Academy, LeGrand, and Elm Street. Again, why have they not been repaired? In 2011, we had enough portable generators to run our 13 lift stations. If the power went out in the village of Holly, we had that to work with. Today, we have 3. And behold, the 3 that we have now have just been repaired. We need more generators so that if our systems ever shut down, we have a big power failure so the water and sewer system does not back up into our homes. I could go on and on about our maintenance in this village. There's 2 things I fully support in this village, and it's our police department, our fire department. Yet we need to get back and replace our investigators in our police department. We've been without one for years. Also, we need to hire 3 more police officers full-time. Don't get me wrong, I believe Chief Narsh has done an outstanding job with our police department. But yet we have a whole lot more that we have to get done. And I would really appreciate your vote at this time. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to have the board member of the Holly Township Library come up. Amber Benedict, April Brandon, Joseph Mischler, and Cassandra Padilla. First to the stand, I'd like to welcome Amber Benedict.
397. That's how many library systems exist in Michigan. Out of those, I'm standing up here for just one, the Holly Township Library. Libraries are a pillar, not just in a community, but in society as a whole. I'm a military spouse, so I understand the world of navigating ever-evolving situations. I believe there are tough conversations to be had. Let's have them. Differences of opinions exist, but so does civil discussion. Additionally, I believe in fiscal responsibility and accountability. They are vital to a library's operation and should be considered in every discussion. And discussion begets research. I believe informed decisions are necessary. Let's ask questions. Ultimately, libraries should be fun and promote literacy. The Holly Township Library is one of many, yes, but it's ours and I want to see it thrive. Let's defend it, let's promote it, let's work together to support it. Thank you.
Next to the stand, I'd like to welcome April Brandon.
My My name is April Brandon, and I am running as a write-in for Holly Township Library Trustee. The Library Board Trustees are the most driven and dedicated bunch of folks I know. I am proud to say that the board has appointed me president every year for the last 4 years. I've written resolutions tending to the needs of the staff and the patrons that the board unanimously voted in favor of. I have found lost money and generated more funding by studying old documents. Our library lost $30,000 since 1994's board's laxity in contractual review responsibilities. I created a living legacy document for future boards to prevent such egregious negligence in the future. The library board supported my motions to create a strategic plan and begin investigating architectural and design improvements to better serve the community. The library board has chosen its interior design company, and you, the public, can look forward to seeing renovations in the upcoming phases of our plan very soon. We've updated all policy and procedures, and the board approved my motion to hire an attorney to keep the library up to date on best practices. Something many of you may not know about me is that I grew up very poor. I have worked part-time since I was 8 years old and full-time since I was age 13. I lived in government housing with my mother until I was kicked out to the street at age 14. I had a long, hard, and confusing journey ahead of me, and it took me a long time to identify mentors, but along the way, I learned how to make ends meet. I know how to budget wisely. I know what expenses are paramount, such as education, safety, infrastructure, and resources. I will not spend your tax dollars recklessly, but I will spend them on things that matter and that will benefit you and this community appropriately. I know that community and family matter. As a psychotherapist, I'm really good at listening, research, and teamwork. We need to listen to one another and study together. I have evidenced in my time in office that I am not afraid to solicit the 12,000 beautiful brains we have in the township to research with me or serve beside me. Something most of you already know about me is my knack for bringing people together through supporting local events and my ability to use outreach across generations. I am running for library trustee to continue taking part in preserving the integrity of this fine institution, to continue to provide resources to the public, to grow deliberately, and to foster community relations. Thank you for your time.
Next, I'd like to welcome Joseph Mishler to the stand.
I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for putting this event on. I guess I'll hold the mic. I am running as a write-in candidate for the Holly Township Library Board, and not by choice. I submitted petitions, and they were rejected by the county because apparently there had something to do with the number of people running, and we weren't the only place that that's happened to. But besides all that, I love the library. Anybody knows me knows that I love libraries. How many of you carry 6 library cards in your wallet? Your purse? I don't see any hands going up. So I love libraries. I love the Holly Township Library. I've had a card since 1972 when I started teaching here. I love the library because it's a very friendly place. You can go there. People will talk to you. People will answer your questions. They'll come over to your computer and help you out. They'll do a lot of things there. So we have a great staff. Now, I've been on the board for the last 4 years, and we've implemented a lot of things. We've made our library a safe place for all people. We have fought against censorship. And we will continue that fight. And we are in the middle of a strategic plan. And we are in the middle of looking at the future. We don't have a specific thing in mind, but we're looking at several different options for the library. Because our programming has gone crazy. The number of people coming through, and you can come and look at the statistics. You can see our numbers are going up. They've been going up. Programming's been going up. If you've got a little child and you've been over to story time, you know how many people go to that. And how many people go to the other kind of events. And I'm running on the board again because I want to see all of that continued. And I want to see that we improve to the point where we can move into the future. I don't know what the future holds, no one seems to know that, but I'm willing to take that chance. I'm willing to sit down with all of the others, and by the way, the current board has done an outstanding job. And I want to continue that job by staying on the board. I'm the vice president, and I belong to a lot of other organizations. All of you probably know that I'm an Army veteran. So I would like your vote, your write-in vote on the election. Thank you.
Next to the stand, I'd like to welcome Cassandra Padilla.
Hi there, my name is Cassandra Padilla, and I've called Holly my home for 15 years. I've served this community in a variety of roles in that time as well. My expertise is in the field of early childhood education, so for the library, I'm particularly connected to the children's and youth library programs that we offer. In Holly, our library supports its community in so many ways, from babies and toddlers to senior citizens. Our library is so much more than just books, right? We've talked about all of the extensive programming and all of the great things that we offer in the library. Libraries are for everyone, and I think that's the biggest thing that people need to hear when they come and see our library, is that it's for everyone. It's a community hub where everyone, regardless of economic status, can take part in high-quality programming. When you enter the library, you're not entering as a consumer, you're a citizen, and you are there free to pursue your personal interests, safe in the knowledge that no one is going to ask you to pay. Where you can write a resume, prepare your taxes, learn a new skill, yes, even read a book if you do that thing. When we were looking for our home, I was sold on the ability to walk to the library. And I've waddled through 2 pregnancies to that library, and now my daughter is old enough to find a home in the library as well as a founder of the Teen Art Club. She's thriving in that role and participating in those programs. My family's been raised in the library. We've seen so much growth over the years. One point that I'd like to make is that Michigan's literacy rates have been low for a very long time. Currently, we rank 43rd in the nation, which is not something to be proud of. But bolstering up the programs that improve literacy and affect change in our community and improve our children's lives is something that we should all live into. As a library board member, I look forward to serving as a liaison with the people in this community who have suggestions about what they'd like to see at the library, and to be an advocate for the librarians who are there to be sure they have the tools to do what they need to do to work effectively in their job. I look forward to being a part of the continued success and progress at our library, and I really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Finally, we have the board members for Holly Area Schools, Linda Blair, Sean Krieger, Peter Deal, and Lay Jackson, all running unopposed, and none of them were able to make it tonight. Now I welcome Richard Kinnaman back up here to have a closing statement.
Let's hear it for our interns with the chambers. Bowen, Xander, and Rosie are here. Once again, Bowen and Xander have just started this week. They are actually employees of Michigan Works through a program that we have been able to work with them. And over the summer, Rosie was one of 2 interns that we had as well. We are pleased to be able to be expanding many of the things that we do as a chamber. And part of that expansion concept is the change that we are seeing in who we are. We have opened a second Chamber of Commerce in Ortonville in order to reach and work with the businesses over there. And in that process have started North Oakland Regional Chambers Association, which both chambers are a division of. It is all held in trust then by the Holly Area Chamber yet. We do have an event coming up in another week on Saturday, October 12th. We will have our Dixie Byway Car Show that begins with a cruise, a Drive the Dixie opportunity for all of our classic vehicles that begin down at Waypoint Church, down in Springfield Township, and then travel beginning at 9:30 up to Mount Holly, where from 10 to 2 we have a great car show. This is our 5th car show in 6 years, and have seen great growth with it and a lot of good things. Feel free to come out and park along the Dixie and watch the cars, and then come in and walk around and view them. And if you have a vehicle and haven't let us know that you would be bringing it, please let us know that as well. We look forward to seeing you at this and other events we have coming up. I am going to invite George Cullis to come forward for just a moment. George is the president of our board for the Holly Area Chamber of Commerce.
So I'm actually not here as the president of the board, but I'm here as the township supervisor. I just wanted to say one thing, not only for the people in the room, but for the people that might watch this after tonight. All of the people running for the library board are running as write-ins. Joe Mishler touched base on it briefly. There was a glitch between the county clerk's office and the local clerks, not just the Holly clerk, but townships across the county. And many people got knocked off the ballot. When you get your absentee ballot, you will see nobody running for the library board. You can contact the township office, get a list of those people that are eligible as write-in candidates, so you can write their name in, so you can get the spelling right and put that down. We've already had a lot of calls wondering why there isn't anybody for the library board. Unfortunately, like I said, between the local clerks and the county clerk, there was a disagreement, but names got taken off the ballot all across the county. So when you get that, contact the township office. They will send you a list of those names that are eligible, and I still think there's time to register as a write-in, even though the ballots are out. The deadline isn't up yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cullis. Once again, I would like to thank all of our candidates for coming this evening, as well as those in the public. At the end here, we have made the offer to candidates to have their yard signs or any other documents that they would like to share with you. And we have some refreshments in the lobby and an opportunity for you to visit with those candidates. Please feel free to hang out a little bit and connect one-on-one with candidates. Once again, thank you for coming out this evening.